when you talk to older people, and they always find a way to just chip in advice here and there. So the auntie was telling her, "Oh, spill the tea. Just know the tea actually stains." So sometimes, in the midst of trying to find out if he just taught you, but all the same, this tea, I want to hear this one.
Hey, well, I was able to take out time to see some people I had not seen in a very long while.
Ah, great.
Yes, and also to really rest too because I needed it.
Oh,
So
that's
that was
good.
how my weekend went.
Well, my weekend was restful. I had a couple of things to do, but nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing too much or energy demanding. So it was good. It was good. So we're starting this new week on a high note, energy on the high side,
Oh
and we're
yeah.
good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Today is Monday, July 22nd, 2024. And yes, you're launching the week listening to us on Women Radio 91.7 because exactly where else would you be? This is right here where it is happening. So listen to us live at the website www.wfm917.com. Download the mobile app to listen live, WFM 917. Now we go into the headlines this morning as we get to bring you analysis on the newspaper review. Once again, my name is Esther Alaribe.
And I'm Miracle Phillips.
And we get to start off with the Punch newspapers. On the Punch newspapers, stop killings, come for peace parley. Benue tells bandits. When I was reading through this report, I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean come for? But I mean, again, I'm not going to spill the tea, so I'm just going to wait till you get to the part of the report. Still on Punch newspapers, federal government sets July 31st deadline for civil servant screening. Ex-Minister Maman remains in custody 9 days after 10 billion naira bail. Navy fears clash with Nimasa over proposed maritime law amendment. And ECOWAS spent $13 million on counterterrorism and humanitarian interventions, says Tinubu. Over to the Vanguard.
On the Vanguard newspaper, friends kill youth in Zaria, withdraw 800,000 naira from his account. NDLEA busts syndicate's attempt to import consignments of cocaine loud in Lagos. Street parking policy, no going back on enforcement. This is coming from the Lagos state government. Power devolution, way out of Nigeria's economic crisis. This is coming from Governor Adeleke. Hardship, Nigerians in pain, frustrated. Anglican bishop tells Tinubu.
All right, moving over to the Nation newspapers. On the Nation newspapers, Matawali gets award, seek peace. Council launches Project Light Up initiative, promotes Yoruba culture language with literature prize. Church celebrates Founders Day with prayers. Over to Daily Trust.
On Daily Trust newspaper, Kaduna launches agri strategy to enhance nutrition. Gombe lauds IITA's seed system initiative. Zulum to revive Boronu tomato factory celebrates operational shoe factory. Army reaffirms ban on unauthorized use of military camouflage. Ondo youth urge Governor Ayedatiwa to address rising insecurity.
All right. On this day, newspapers called to commence hearing on contempt charges against Rogue Ohanese Indigbo leaders. Tinubu government is intentional in all policies, says Akume. Dangote fights back. NMDPRA letter shows regulator approved refineries in-house laboratory for product testing. These are the headlines we have across the different Nigerian newspapers this morning. The phone lines 07000 or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 07031756537 to be a part of the conversation right here. We love to hear from you. And of course, we want to know what is happening around your community. So when you do call in, if you have anything to share about updates in your community or something you would like the government to hear about or intervene, do well to let us know when you get to call in. And also, if you're on the road, you can share traffic updates. Let's help other people navigate the road this morning. So we have our analyst joining us. We're speaking to Adeyemi Adeolu first this morning. Hi, Adeyemi. How are you doing?
Good morning, Miracle. Good morning, all our listeners. I'm good this morning, and you?
Yes, good morning. We're doing great. Esther and Miracle, we're doing great
Good
this
morning,
morning.
Adeyemi.
Good morning, Miracle. Good to hear you this morning.
Yeah, how's your weekend, Adeyemi?
Well, my weekend was pretty cool,
Okay.
as usual.
As usual, definitely. Well, you need all of the energy to start off the new week. So, of course, I'm hopeful that This week is going to be a new week. And I read a particular post from somebody on LinkedIn talking about how we need to approach these times that we live in with a positive mindset, because the mindset that you adopt kind of reflects or gives you the outlook that you want to see. So, yes, amidst all of the everything going on, just adopt a positive mindset and be able to look on the bright side of things, isn't it, Miracle?
Oh, yes, it is. Because I mean, if you don't choose to adopt a positive mindset, you're
Mm-hmm.
always going to be hit by negativity. There's
Yeah.
a lot of negativity already in the world. Do yourself some favor, be kind to yourself, and think
Definitely.
positive.
Definitely. I agree. I mean, if there's one thing I don't like is complaining.
Mm.
I don't like complaining. What are you going to do to change it? If you're not providing any solution, then I'm not sure I want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, adopting that positive mindset and apply it in every area of your life this week as you go on. So, let's go into the headlines this morning and see what we get to find. A miracle.
Oh, yes, and we'll start with this from the Punch newspaper. Says stop killings, come for peace parley. Benue tells bandits. The Benue state government has said it is open to having a peace parley with bandits killing in the state to understand their grievances. The Commissioner for Information and Culture and Tourism, we're talking about Matthew Abor, who stated this in an interview with the Punch on Sunday, accused the bandits of being unfair to Governor Yasin Alia's administration. He said the government had repeatedly invited the bandits for talks, but they were insisting that the governor should declare amnesty first while they continued to kill. The commissioner spoke against the backdrop of the latest killing of 18 people in the Mbache Council Ward, Katsina Ala local government area. The killings were carried out on Friday night, notwithstanding the curfew earlier imposed on the local government by the state government following the violent protest that rocked the Ukum local government area 2 weeks ago. Now, Adeyemi, looking at this statement by the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism of the state, Matthew Abor, it has this undertone. I mean, that particular statement, if we're just going to read it the way it is, they have been unfair to Governor Yasit Alia's administration. It seems to be there is an underhand nudging these bandits to keep being this way to a particular governor. Or do you think we should toe the line of that thought, Adeyemi?
Mm.
Thank you, Miracle. Well, for peace to reign, there are so many ways we can always approach it. And if the governor have chosen that that is the best way to approach it, so that there will be peace in Benue State, so be it. The only thing that I have problem with is the fact that the bandits, they are still killing. And if you read it, you'll find out that right from the inception of this government, I'm talking about the government of Isent Alia,
Yeah.
they have been killing. So what do you want? What do they want the government to do? You are killing the citizens, and you want him to extend a peaceful end to you that you people should come in. But he has been saying it, and they are not making any move. He said, whenever they call them for meetings, they don't show up. That means, of course, they have the fear that maybe perhaps they were afraid, maybe they are going to arrest them if they show up. But they should have at least sent some people, delegates, who will represent them. They may not be the one that will show up in person. They could designate members of the community, leaders of thought, the elders in the community to represent them, to have a parley with the government. But however, I'm not even looking at it from that perspective. I'm looking at the fact that it is the government at the central level and the state government that has actually failed. And that's the honest truth. We must find a way around this issue of insecurity. And what the aspect I'm looking at is given over authority, and it's even placing the armed forces when it comes to cases like this under the state governor so that they can give them orders to go forth. Now we add that these bandits in that state are the offshoot of the guy that was killed. And they splitted into three major groups that are terrorizing that state. So, which implies that they know them. So, what are the military? What are they waiting for? What are they looking at? Who is to dole out order to them before they can take action? Is it a planned thing that they should continue to release mayhem on the people of Benue State? Or actually, the federal government, did they really want to curb these bandits' activities in the country, particularly in the Benue? We know how it has been over the years in Benue and Plateau. So, what is the federal government really doing about it? That is the question that we are asking. We cannot continue to hide and to pretend and to shy away from the fact that these so-called bandits, they are known people to the community. They are known people to the state. So why can't we? If they will not sell their sword, then the government should do the needful. There is nobody that is above the state. There is no, once you see, the law says the moment you kill, and even that's the law of nature. If the natural law is when you kill, definitely you pay the ultimate price for killing.
Mhm.
So why are we staying back? Why is the government looking away? Why is the government not taking action? More so that we know that the apparatus, the military apparatus is under the authority of the federal government. What is the federal government doing about this? We want this to change. If when we have cases like this, and we know that this thing has been a continuum in Benue State, then the best thing that the government could ever do that will help the situation is for the government. And you see, there was a statement that was made,
Okay.
and I want us to look at that statement critically.
Mm.
It is said that whichever community in Benue State actually pledges or supports the state government, that community, they will go there and overrun them.
Mm. Yeah, it was stated like
So when you look at that, it means that the government is one of the one of the things that the government needs to look at and say, okay, now this community has done this. They are supporting the state government. That means that the bandit will surely come. So what are they doing? Then the
Adiemi,
intelligence report
Adiemi, something I
and
wanted
all
to
that.
add,
Yes.
something I wanted to add that I picked up from this report is the fact that the Commissioner of Information, Culture, and Tourism in Benue State, Matthew Abo, there's a way he sounded in this report, and I'm just going to read out that part. He said, I think they
Yes.
are not being patient. That is, they here, the bandits, are not being patient. We've been asking them what exactly the problem is and what they're agitating for, but no one has been able to come out and tell us. If you call them for a meeting to negotiate, none of them will come because they said in court, grant us amnesty first, that they are afraid to come out, that they will be arrested. So where do they want us to negotiate with them? It's like they don't have a direction. If they can come out and articulate their demands, the government will look at the demands, and if it's what the government can do, we can always do it. This sounded like, okay, people should come now. Come, let's talk about this thing. That's the way it sounded like the government is having to beg the bandits. I mean, let's think about what band or who bandits are. These are people who go around destroying other people's home, killing people, chasing people from the ancestral homes, and chasing them from the source of livelihoods. I'm just thinking, why are we? It sounded like why you not coming forward? Come talk to us. It didn't sit so well. I mean, I'm just thinking somebody who lives in Benue State, seeing or reading the commissioner sounding this way will be wondering what their fate is.
Well, you may say that, but like I said at the beginning, that you see there are so many ways by which we can bring peace to our society.
Mm.
Sometimes if we realize that uh, killings or combat will not be a solution, we can always employ other measures. And I think that's one of the reasons why the government of Benue State is trying to extend this olive hand to the bandits that they should come, let them negotiate. And the honest truth is, the man cannot just grant you amnesty. He cannot just grant you amnesty because one, you people must be able to come to terms. There must be face to face discussion. You must have a roundtable talk. You must be able to let know what your grievances are so that the government can look into that direction, and the government also on their part will be able to look and tell you what they want you to do. So the two will now come to terms that, okay, we have agreed on these terms. Okay, this is the way to go. That is when that amnesty can be granted. But however, as it is, and don't forget that they said that the man said during the campaign, he said he was going to grant the amnesty. Sometimes you have to be explicit when you are making promises.
Exactly.
That is the honest truth. So, because when you make promises, you know that your word becomes a debt, and that is what the people will own against you, especially when you do not fulfill it. And what they do not understand is that there are a lot is involved in just granting amnesty. And like the commissioner has said, they have been calling them for parley, for negotiation, so that they can come to terms. But however, like I said, if the government also on their part they are really sincere, let the government send elders of the state, community leaders to these bandits and have a talk with them so that they can be rest assured that they are not going to be arrested when they surface. You understand? So I think that is very, very important so that we can have a way forward. Now knowing fully well that it is not even external forces that are really, militating or killing the people of Benue State. These are people within the community, the people within the state that are actually waging war against the people of that state. So we must understand that there is a way that we have to go about it. And the best way to go about it is for the governor as it is. If the bandits are not coming out and they are still killing, then the governor should raise emissaries that we have to go and have negotiation with them. I think with that, we can, and Benue State will be able to move forward.
Mm. All right. Thank you very much, Adiemi, for your thought. I mean, really, when I read the part that spoke about how the governor had noted this before coming into office, this should have been clearly stated. If you do this, this will be done.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're having to hold him back to his words to say, you said you were going to grant us amnesty. So this is the time. And why do we trust you? Why do we believe you? But I mean, it's just the sad situation of things where we find ourselves really because there is no place where we are supposed to be negotiating with bandits
Bandits,
to
that's
protect the lives and properties of people in a state. It is sad. It is really, really sad. The phone lines are open 07000 or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 317 56537 to be a part of the conversation right here on Women Radio 91.7. 11 minutes to 8. My name is Esther Alaribe.
and I am Miracle Philip.
And we're speaking to our analyst this morning. We're speaking to Adeyemi Adeolu. So do send in your comment and your contributions, and we'll be sure to take them this morning. Now we move over to this one on this day newspapers. And this report has it Dangote fight back. NMDPRA letter shows regulator approved refineries in-house laboratory for product testing. And this report has it that as Dangote refinery fight back allegations by the Nigerian Upstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulator Authority that its refined products are inferior to imported ones. A letter has been sent by the said newspaper house this day that has shown that the regulatory authority did approve the firm's, that is Dangote in-house laboratory, for the testing of crude oil product. Again, this particular one, the president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, had on Saturday noted that products refined at the facility, the world's largest single train refinery, were of superior quality compared to the imported equivalent and met international standards. And Dangote is having to insist on testing other diesel products alongside his, that Dangote's diesel at the refinery's state of art laboratory. And is also having to note that some other samples that have been taken from two well-known filling stations around the Eleko Junction were not so as up to par as the Dangote's one. And again, I don't know, Adeyemi, I don't know if you've been following the reports, following the trends since over the weekend. It seems like Dangote really has a lot to say in recent times.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I've heard him speak like in a very long time like that, but in recent times, I mean, over the weekend particularly, there were just snippets and excerpts of his interviews, speaking to people everywhere, here and there. And this one now, I mean, having to note how Dangote has been in the Nigerian industry, it calls for a lot of attention to see what exactly is going on. Is there more that we need to know about Adeyemi?
Thank you very much. Actually, I've been following the trend, it's really of great importance to the petroleum product has cost us and what we are going through at the moment.
Mm.
And we were actually expecting eventually takes off. At least it will help us in Nigeria and West Africa, like he actually projecting. It actually shows that the people that are the NNPC and all the other bodies around NNPC, they don't want Nigerians, to witness peace. And that is why you see what they are doing. And from every indication, as it is at the moment, with this letter that Dangote, has released to the public, the chief executive, in the person of Farouk Ahmed and the Lamode and Mustafa Lamode and all others that are in that agency ought to have resigned by now. And if they do not resign, I think it is going to be in the best interest of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to actually show them the way out, because it implies that why are you people, why are you people giving us false information? All because you don't want Dangote refinery to operate. You want to kill that dream so that you can continue to import petroleum products from outside the country. And when the Lord God Almighty has blessed us with crude oil, and you see, our crude oil product is one of the best in the world. No crude oil is being sold until Nigerian crude oil gets to the market, because they use our crude oil in mixing because of the nature of it. They call it light. So what is the problem of these people? Like Ochimole rightly said, and I will continue to quote it anywhere. If we do not kill these people are bent on killing us. You see, you may say they are not holding guns, but I tell you, they are killing us, they are causing hardship. And you know how many people have died because of this hardship you're talking about. You know how many people have gone into the you know how many people have taken their life. You know how many people driving, everything, and they all because of the economic hardship. You know how many students of primary or secondary school, or because of this hardship we are talking about. And these people are there making this money, making us, and yet, and somebody, who God has blessed, out of all, as a Nigerian, who could establish such a
Hi,
giant,
Adeyemi.
finally the biggest in the world,
Mm.
and have to cry out. These people, they must leave. They must leave. They must resign with immediate effect.
Hi, Adeyemi. We'll try to reconnect with you in a bit. Adeyemi's network really seems to be breaking up really badly. I mean, the network hasn't just been favorable in recent times. I think I had my fair share yesterday because I was knocked out for like for like the longest, no reception, nothing at all. Hi, Adeyemi. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you,
All
Esther.
right, great.
I can hear you.
Okay, so it's back on.
So, like I was saying,
Mm.
These people, I'm talking in the person of Farouk and management organization, the management organization, the management board of that organization, of that agency, they by now, with this letter that is in the public domain, they need to put in their resignation letter. And if they will not do that, then let the federal government, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu Jagaban, let him show them the way out. It means they have continued to feed us with lies. This has counter all the reports. They said the product is safe, and yet you went in there, you carried out tests, and you saw it, and you gave a pass mark, and you accredited it. And now you are not telling the world just because you don't want this man to produce, just because you want to continue to milk the nation, you want to continue to import, so that you continue to make that money at the expense of this great nation and the people of this great nation. So something ought to be done. And however, if nothing is being done within the next few days, then let Nigerians come out and fight for this cause. This is the cause that we all need to fight for. Because, like Oshimole has already rightly said, if we do not kill these people, they will kill us. So it is us that has to act fast so that they don't kill us. They
Adeyemi,
have been killing us.
just so we're clear, because there might be somebody out there who's listening and doesn't necessarily understand this kill. So we're not saying go out and kill anybody. That's not what Adeyemi is saying. Nobody's killing anybody. Just so we are.
No,
Mm.
when I say kill, I'm not saying carry gun or carry knife
Exactly, exactly. I
or
had to
cutlass.
explain that because you don't know who's listening. I mean, people
But
are ignorant.
look, what it implies is this: get them out of the system, that place of authority that they have edge, that they have been using to manipulate, to oppress us, to enrich themselves. Relieve them of that office. That is the way to kill them. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we should kill them physically,
Of course not. Of course not. All right. Thank you
but
very much, Adeyemi, for
relieve
Thank you very much, Adeyemi, for your comment. I mean, this reception this morning isn't allowing for, I mean, but I'm glad we've had like a great conversation so far, Miracle, because I know that over the weekend I saw different reports, different people talking about how
Yeah.
it must be hard for Dangote at this time
Oh
for him to
yes.
be having all of these different
Mm-hmm.
interviews and talking about this. It must really be hard. But again, if we're having to say that we have agencies that are saddled with certain responsibilities, if they are failing or for some reason we have like signs of them not being able to carry out their different responsibilities, well, maybe we need to be looking inward and looking at these agencies instead, because I mean there is a reason why we have regulators.
Well, there have been calls right from I think the previous administration as well for the leadership of the NNPCL to be removed. It's something that we've continued to have to hear Nigerians talk about, and one would say, since we saw the whole Dangote refinery conversation coming up as a way to at least alleviate the pressing needs of Nigerians, why not have that full clamp down support from the federal government? But it might just be the opposite, and that is why Dangote is all over the place with the reports, and he doesn't even look smiley at all because it looks
Mm-mm.
like a lot of pressure is on him at the
I mean,
moment.
on easy west lies the head and where's the crown, but so
Honestly,
there.
well, it's a whole lot, and we hope to see how those stories actually develop in the coming days.
Of
I hope
course,
that
we'll
there's.
just wait and see what more is come on this particular story.
Mhm.
Really, the phone lines are open: 07000 or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 317 56537. I'm sure Adeyemi can hear me now. Adeyemi, thank you very much for joining us this morning. The network isn't so favorable this morning.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.
All
It's
right.
been a
We
pleasure
enjoyed
being with you
talking
this
to you.
morning.
Thank you very much. To have a wonderful day and a great week. So let's look at some of the text and WhatsApp messages that we have here. This particular one here says, I honestly do not understand this back and forth between Dangote and NMDPRA. How can our local production of fuel grow if Dangote keeps experiencing this setback from the inception? I think there is more to this development than meets the eye. Those who do not want Project Dangote refinery to fly, they sure do know why.
Mm.
Well, Rosanji Alawali Muti from Blackberry says, Good morning, dear presenter. The impact of the rise of oil revenue since June has not been felt by the masses but by politicians who receive ordinary 1,000 naira as salaries but get millions of naira as allowances. And they pretend to love the masses by slashing their minute salaries and they continue to receive millions of naira as allowances. Who is fooling who? The followers are just a true reflection of their leaders. Bad followers will never produce good leaders.
Mm.
Nigeria will survive. Allah bless Nigeria. Thank you very much, Rosenja, for your prayers always. I mean, Nigeria will survive. Allah bless Nigeria. What we have is a leadership problem, a people problem. I mean, anywhere, organizations, institutions, anywhere, countries,
People need
managing
to move.
people,
Mm.
managing people, getting people to do stuff. I mean, it can really just be hard because we don't pick our leaders from anywhere else. Just from
Within.
us here in the society. So it's just what you find. What you find in the leaders is what you find in the followers as well. Let's take some of the messages that we also have here. This one here says from Anderson in Toki says, Good morning, Miracle Adiemi, and my only Esther. This is so dear to me. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anderson. This one says, Those asking the federal government to clamp down on August 1st protest is nothing but evil, satanic, and great enemy to some responsible Nigerians. If I may ask, who are they going to clamp on? Is it the poor Nigerians who are facing the gnashing of teeth, hunger, death, and so many other things? Are they the ones who are supposed to clamp down on each other? This is why I keep saying if what happened in Ghana during J.J. Rollins is not happening, these so-called leaders will never take precautions. Anderson. Nah. We live in a civilized society and we're going to stick to the books. Yes, protest, if done rightly, go to the relevant authorities,
Mm-hmm.
get approvals. And that's true. Talking about this protest that has been, I've been seeing like
News
different posts,
reports.
different things here and there. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
there's a protest coming,
Mm-hmm.
but we've not been able to put like a face to this
To this
protest
protest, who
or an
exactly is stoking
organization,
it up?
an
Mm-hmm.
association, or anything. But people are just talking here and there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for some reason, I mean, we've seen how protest has gone down in this country before. I'm not sure if protest actually is what we need. If it's going to, do you think it's going to yield any results? Do you think it's going to make anything
Well,
different?
even looking at the whole report, we could actually see that the federal government started making some plans, trying to, beg Nigerians, please
Mm,
be patient with us. We saw the House of Reps deciding to slash their salaries by about 50% as
mm.
well. All of these as acts to get Nigerians to please be more understanding and to also begin to feel that they also feel the pulse of Nigerians. I would always say this: do we need to get to that trigger spot
Mm.
before our leaders begin to make measures or put measures in place? Do we need to get that threat? Oh, there's going to be a protest before they come out and say, okay, but
We're going to do
please,
this now.
I beg, oh.
So just yesterday, I was looking at a particular report and I've been able to lay my hands on this
Mm.
one. And this one is from the Vanguard newspapers. And it says Peter Obi should be held responsible for planned nationwide protests, says Ononuga. Now, this report has it that the special advisor on information and strategy to the president has alleged that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and his supporters are behind the proposed nationwide protest. And he's also having to note that Obi should be held responsible for anarchy. Don't be fooled. These people who are staging this nationwide protest are supporters of Peter Obi, the failed presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and he should be held responsible for whatever crisis emanates from the action.
Hmm.
I was also looking through, I think this morning, yes, or his page. I saw a particular tweet that he made mentioning some Nigerians who have used their platform on Twitter, X, to make certain comments. And I'm just wondering, like, how is it that a political leader is having to focus on, oh, this person said this person said this?
And
We're-
not the
we're-
real issue.
exactly. We live in a time where we're having to fight and clamp down on misinformation,
Mm-hmm.
disinformation.
Mm-hmm.
And there is you picking up their tweet and bringing it to our faces to say,
Mm.
"Yeah, this is who we say what." This like I don't know how, but sometimes it doesn't just take so much to just put your mind into certain things and make of it what you will.
Mhm.
I think sometimes even silence does it better than having to say certain things, and everybody's like, maybe you're not so, but it's okay. It's fine. Let's take some of the messages that we have, Miracle. Let's hear you. Okay, so we just go ahead and look at this particular one. Daya from Fargo says, "Good morning, crew. You can see what happens to Ali Ndume as a party loyalist. Can't you criticize the government considering the situation of the country? Is this democracy? For the NSAS protests, killings of innocent people, some being imprisoned, conspiracy of certain political leaders, ECOWAS even confirmed it. This government hate protests. They rather send agberos, police, and the army to intimidate people and for them not to protest. Is this not a violation of human rights? Like they say, the sinners run it when no one pursues them. But the righteous is as bold as lion. Why is the government running away from protest? Didn't they protest in 2012 against the Jonathan government? Now they do not want to protest or want to receive criticism. The evil that men do does live after them. And just look at what happened in Kenya, whether we like it or not. Okay, this one here from Barrister Ugo Osuji, and this one says, "Good morning, WFM Esther and Adeyemi." It says, "Stop the killings, come for a peace parley by Benue government. What type of ceasefire is this to awaken the disease that already died in a silly manner in the hands of this rebel, barefoot, drunk gunmen, bandits, herdsmen, and Boko Haram called bandits, kidnappers, terrorists, what have you?" On this same platform, an angelic prelate calls for the government liberalization on food issues as Nigerians are near their grave, instrumentally born out of hunger by federal government bad economic policies. Well, and he also goes ahead to note that all of this brouhaha and crimes born out of the federal government's laxity and political will in pandering to Section 14, subsection 2B, when the issues of security, lives, welfare, and citizens and protection of property are within their remit as federal government. Most non-state actors now acting the dual government and occupying non-governed spaces, putting purportedly duly elected federal in a silent pregnant corner of a de facto government. What a country. Contracting private military company as did during the President Goodluck Jonathan administration remains the only panacea to tackling these monsters in the land, wielding gun and maiming the Nigerian citizens. Well, this is congratulating the newly elected Nigerian Bar Association President Ayam Musigwe, senior advocate of Nigeria, for a victory well deserved, as Nigerian lawyers voted electronically during the last Saturday, 20th July 2024 elections. Nigerian lawyers prayed for a non-governmentalized NBA president, as did the outgoing NBA executives. May this new president portray NBA as a professional pressure groups holding the government accountable to the people, as did the Nigerian press. All right. Thank you very much for your message. And this one here from AZ from Riverview Estate says, "Good morning, beautiful Amazons of WFM. Good morning, AZ. Benue State begging bandits to stop killing and come for peace is a shame. How can a considered authority beg bandit, or Bayo Ononuga accusing Peter Obi? It is laughable. Or has he forgotten that Tinubu spearheaded the protest against Jonathan during his time? Why is the present administration afraid of protests? The people that shouted Ibim power in Lagos and Abeokuta were not instigated by Peter Obi. 180 million Nigerians under multi-dimensional poverty, I'm not sure about this data, was not the making of Peter Obi. Billions of children out of school were not asked to go home by Peter Obi. All of these draconian policies being churned out by APC did not come from Obi's table. Why is the presidency afraid of Peter Obi, who is also afraid of hashtag and bad governance? Your has to come. You have to come after mine because really, quite a lot, quite a lot. I mean, I don't know. We just live in very, very sensitive times where people are having to pick their words correctly. These days, when I even go out, having to talk about, I don't engage people on political matters or anything anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't, because people hold different ideologies, people hold different ideas, which is actually very fine. But I realize that a lot of people are not able to have certain conversations with open mind. They're not able to do so.
Or without resorting to insult.
Exactly. And I don't want you to come and be piling on me for what is not.
Mm.
So no, let's skip it. You're talking politics, well, I'm like, Okay, so what do I do? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's just face the issues here and just talk about them. Good morning, Inkechi Manuela. This stage now. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Miracle. Thank you for having me this morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing? And trust your weekend was great.
Yes, it was really good. Thank you for asking.
All right. So we go into it. The phone lines 07000 or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 07031756537. And we'll be going on with this headline on the Vanguard. Yes, Miracle. This one that reads Hardship Nigerians in pain. Frustrated Anglican bishop tells Tinubu. I mean, it is biting hard on people.
Oh yes, really, it is fighting hard on people, and I can count the or I can't count the number of headlines that I've read hardship in the last 3 months, and we've even had to have these conversations right here on the newspaper review. But then the Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Owo in Ondo State, Reverend Stephen Fakemi, has lamented the economic challenges in the country have left Nigerians in pain and frustration, just as he urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to, as a matter of urgency, intensify efforts to address the security challenges and economic hardship facing Nigerians. Now, he stated this in his charge delivered during the third session of the 14th Synod of the church held at St. Stephen's Church Ikpele in Owo local government area of the state. The cleric noted that the effects of the current economic hardships are real and painful. Fagbemi said, unless urgent and effective steps are taken to curtail the effects of the current economic situation in the country, Nigeria may witness an uncontrollable rise in crime. Nigeria has become a harder place to live in, as evident in the fact that many people are leaving the country for greener pastures, while many are finding themselves in difficult situations where they fled to. Hmm. Well, Sage, no, you'd agree with me. Really, the conversations around the hardships in the country have been majorly the major headlines. There's no time you don't come on radio that you don't have to talk about all the prices of food stuff, the prices of I mean, last week we had to deal with the price of. We've talked about this actually, but the price hike in electricity bill is another conversation entirely. Oh, federal government finally meeting with organized labor and agreeing on a particular amount, still linking to hardship
Mm.
of the people. And then when these conversations come up, some moments later you get to see headlines like we solicit with Nigerians to be patient. We let's not forget.
Just to add, Miracle, that it's not just like every institution, organization at this time,
Mm,
they're having it very, very rough.
mhm.
Just last week, I was in Benin for the 79th General Assembly of the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria. And media owners, broadcast organization
Honors,
owners were
yes.
complaining the cost of diesel, electricity, tariff, um, salaries are not being, you don't have money to pay salaries
Mm,
because the market isn't coming in. You're spending so much on cost of operation. There's so much to do, but yet the money is not there. So even appealing to the government for this, that it's not just it. People just want to be able to just make their own livelihood and everybody is happy. But the way that we live in one pressure group, one association or something is all we all have different things to complain about when we come together. And I was talking to somebody over the weekend and they were lamenting to me. I don't know why people feel the need to complain to me whenever they find themselves. I mean, when I find myself in certain spaces, people want to complain to me like, Esther, what do you think about the 70,000 minimum wage? What do you think? I'm like, okay, okay, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? I mean, Sage now, really, Nigerians are not having it at all.
Well, like Miracle was saying, this is something that we continue to speak about. And that is why the Nigerians are resorting to protest because it looks as if we are not moving forward. The other day, somebody was conversing on the head of one of my professional group was conversing. He doesn't live here in Nigeria, but he was like he was arguing with somebody that was telling him that the Ethiopia of yam is going to start 7,000 naira. As far he started saying it's not possible, it's not this, it's not that. Then he brought the conversation to the group that is this true?
Mm.
That somebody is telling me this, and that is how people started to talk. Once again, and not the same story, different platform. People started to talk. So it is. I mean, the more we go, it looks as if the worse it is getting. And it's not even about being pessimistic. There's no pessimism here. Most likely now, today is Monday. The prices of things that were last week might have changed and increased. And if you ask them, oh, this and that is the reason, the solution, Esther Miracle, is for, I think Nigerians are doing what they believe they can, but this insecurity thing, because we've discussed this extensively, and I'm sure other analysts as well. This insecurity thing, I see that this government is saying, oh, there's this particular headline. I don't think I was on air that day, but there was this particular headline, I think sometime last week, about something on get farming, or telling state governments to get the target for farming or something around that. I see that that's some sort of response that they are trying to give. And I think that at this particular time, everybody should take farming seriously. It's not a bit more seriously, as their life, if possible, because things are really bad. But beyond that, the issue has not been solved. I think that's what I was discussing with Miracle on Wednesday, the last time I was here. What is the root of the issue? The root of the issue, the insecurity, all of these things. And we were talking the fact that our economy is really bad. What are we doing regarding our production? All these things are things that if we don't solve, okay, what are we balancing out to make production possible? You said you were at a broadcast event, Esther, and people are complaining about it. Do you know that if there is light, if electricity is solved, that even affects, let me not even say 30-50%, since let's just say 30% of the issue is reduced, because business owners would take that stress off of them of buying diesel and whatnot. And then, so these are things that, me, I do not think that they're not talking about it up there, because they are very basic to me. It's just very basic. It's ABC 1, 2, 3. Let's get it done. Now, why we are not getting it done, why we are not moving, is often the thing that baffles me. And I think that's what I usually try to understand week in, week out. Who is holding who to ransom? Who is benefiting from this? Those are the questions we then now need to ask. Because Esther Miracle and our listeners this morning, we've said this over and over again. I do not think that this is not something that has been discussed in Aso Rock, or the team, the presidential level. I don't think so. I don't think so. The problem is the implementation. Somebody or no, it has to be somebody is blocking something from moving forward. Who are they? Who is he? Who is she? These are the questions we now need to start asking. And that's why I believe the Nigerian youth are like, well, those people that want to block, we have to find a way to move forward, because it's no longer funny.
All right. Thank you very much, Signal, for your comments right there. And our colleague Oroluwa Olabi will be joining in now from Ikeja at the newspaper stand outside. Hi, Ore. Good morning. What can we do with you? Hello, Ore. Can you hear me?
Good morning, S. Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning, Esther. It's a vibrant morning here at Keja under the bridge, Lagos State, and we're here in beside our newspaper stand where we're bringing you opinions of people on today's headlines. And I have someone here with me who would like to speak on the headline: Dangote Refinery, buy me out. Aliko tells NNPC Hell on Daily Trust newspaper.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's hear you. Good morning.
Hello, this is Bayo from
All right.
Ikeja.
Are you there? Oh dear, seems there's some connection issue. I mean, the network really hasn't been it this morning at all. It hasn't been it. Let's look at some of the text and WhatsApp messages that we do have here. This one here is from Destiny from Ikorodu, and it says, "Good morning, WFM family, Esther, Miracle, and the analyst. Just to clarify what Adeyemi said about killing, it didn't really mean we should kill them physically. Oh yes, I did clarify this. I did, because we had to be sure of what exactly, because somebody out there might be listening and just thinking, oh, are we saying?" Mm-mm, that's not what we're saying. So Destiny is also having to reiterate this to note that what Adeyemi is saying is to kill the evil agenda of this men and leaders who are hell bent on destroying our collective effort to rebuild this country. And as for Dangote refinery product not being up to standard, for me, I think it was long expected because the power that won't allow it to work because they will run them out of business. The call by IDME on the president to show them the way out of office is not going to be possible because it is this same cabal member that fought tooth and nail to push him into office. And you know what they say, you don't bite the hands that feed you. So we really have a lot to do. And we'll just keep talking, hoping that they will hear us one day and have a change of heart. Okay. All right, this one from Dio from Fagba. This one says, "Good morning, crew. You can see all that transpired in Kenya, where the people protest and the government actually did reverse its anti-people policy. There was no counter-protest, even though the police killed some people. The president apologized, and still the people are still protesting for his removal, which he might unlikely do if we had such here. If you protest this government and the others will find ways to use counter protest, using Bayo Onanuga against Obi Agbero and so many stories to kill the story down." Okay. Barrister Ugo Suji from Festec says on Bayo Onanuga, presidential spokesman still mouth Peter Obi, past presidential candidate of Labour Party, as the protagonist for these forthcoming presentations against poverty in the land must be guided accordingly. Peter Obi remains a man of integrity and a good Nigerian that looks forward to the fact that a better Nigeria is still possible when we Bayo Onanuga and his co-travelers win themselves of this landslide victory of the Labour Party in Lagos. And he must be in the know that no amount of 822 dotting the whole streets of Lagos will bar Peter Obi from winning in Lagos again. Sage now. This conversations around young people planning protests. I was just telling Miracle here that I've just been seeing different reports, different accounts. There isn't any, say, a face to the protest or maybe an organization organizing or anything. It just seems people are just agitating in different locations across the country and they're hoping to come out August 1st for this protest. Have you heard about this one?
Yes, and let me just say this by the way, as a joke that I say to myself. There's one video I saw. A person was saying, "Oh, you should turn this into a war or something." I think that video has been going viral. And I say it jokingly and seriously that this person, if a war starts, is he going to remain? The person that is doing that, the video has gone quite viral. Do you get like if you see war, you go stay. You go stay if you see war. So but first things first, let me just start. I say anytime I just that video comes to mind and it makes me laugh because let's take it easy. Let's be focused on what it is that we need. And what we don't need a war. That's not what we need. Because if you think we're talking, we may not even be there discussing on radio, and then there will be no food. I don't know. We see these are the issues where people are not educated. But let me leave that aside. So first things first, I will just put it out there. Let's also learn to be educated so that we don't come on air. When I mean on air, I mean your platform, wherever. I know everybody has platform now and talk with the name of
Hi,
okay.
Signal.
If you want to discuss, it's very important that we're discussing and we're targeting the issues. So yes, I've seen, of course. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, go ahead. The line was breaking up for a bit.
Hello?
Hi, Signal. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh,
Can you
obviously.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Signal. Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. Me now. All right. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
I can. Right? I can go ahead. I want to
Yes.
believe you can hear me now.
Yes.
Okay. I was just saying, some concluding what I was what I was to answer the question. Yes, I have seen a lot of this is something that has been out there for those who are related to it would see there
All right. Signal,
which
it's sad that we'll have
people
to
bear
have
in
to
mind.
break
People
it
are
up.
putting out information on how to guide this protest.
Breaking up, isn't it? So the line is breaking up, and we're unable to make the whole of what you're trying to say. But I mean, we get the core of what you're trying to say. If you could just wrap up, the network hasn't been favorable this morning, really.
All right, so I'll just wrap up because I think if I keep on speaking, you might not hear me. I would just say that whatever it is that the Nigerians were coming out to protest, everybody is protesting one way or the other, whether you're making it to the streets or not, is very important that we are focused and then we keep the purpose of the protest and the frustration to the things that we need the government to fix. I think that's why I will close out because of the network issues. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
Thank you very much, Sage. Now do have a wonderful day. All right, there we have it. I mean, I think Sejnel really has covered some part of this conversation this morning and also the messages from dear listeners. I'll just take some of them here. Rosa and Lawali Muti from Alakbare note, despite the insecurity, former governor Bago of Niger State is still making impact on agriculture with mechanized farming in states, and the result will be visible only in some month. In other states, if other governors also follow suit, the daily increase in food prices will become a thing of the past. Our governors are one of the major reasons why Nigeria is stagnant. Whoever is praising Peter Obi despite the so many corruption cases around his neck on okay, so I'm not sure about this part of your message, but he's trying to say something about Peter Obi not being as clear or clean
Clean
as
as
people claim that
mm,
he is. So yeah, that's what this message basically is trying to say. And this particular one here, it says, "Good morning, WFM crew. This is Ade from Ikeja. As you can see, Nigeria just happened to Dangote. Now he's trying to sell his refinery because he was accused of monopoly. My question is, when is Ononuga going to call for the arrest of Dangote for instigating protests with his comment? Well, according to Aisha Yusufu, she said that APC has always found a way of blaming Peter Obi, the Igbos, for anything happening. Northerners destroyed Tinubu's signboard as they are also calling for protests. But Ononuga is accusing Peter Obi and the Igbos of doing that. I think we need to move on from this kind of conversations where we're having to poke or point at tribalistic.
tribal.
Let's
Yeah,
just focus on the issue. Focus on fact, please. If we're going to talk about this issue, let's talk about them. If you go to the market, nobody's going to ask you, are you from this or you're from,
you
nobody's
go
going
and
to
buy
ask you
and you
that.
get what you
Just
want and you
exactly,
go.
just stand on business and keep it moving. Exactly. I mean, again, we'll do this tomorrow at 7:30. So when you come in, let's come talk with an open mind, be objective, and let's talk about these issues. My name is Esther Alaribe.
And I am Miracle Philip.
Yes, do well to join us again tomorrow at 7:30 as we bring you the dailies across different Nigerian newspapers. At 9, we'll bring you the news at 9, and 5 minutes past 9, we'll bring you Panorama with the ladies from different geopolitical zones. My name is Esther Alaribe, and this is Women Radio, WFM 91.7. Good morning.
Have you been a victim of corruption?